I'm just like, I go into the office, I see one of the principals. It was one of the principal assistants or whatever. Cool dude, you know what I'm saying? He was generally an okay dude with me at least. Bit of a bitch, but he was still a cool dude nonetheless. But let's focus on the positives, okay? So I go into the office. I'm like, hey, what's going on, Mister? I ain't finna put his name out there. And hey, what's going on with you, whatever? Because he knew me for my Transformers impressions and stuff like that. I was pretty known by a group of quite a lot of the people in school just for that, just because of that. And he tells me, hey, so you tried to cut a kid's hair yesterday, earlier today, or whatever. There's a referral here with your name on and stuff like that. I'm like, who? That could be me. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, G's and gents? Welcome to the Professor Goodfeels show, and I'm Professor Goodfeels, as you all know. I hope everyone's doing well today, enjoying yourself, taking care, and doing all that good stuff. I have a story for you all today. Let me tell you something that happened to me back when I was in school, right? So, my teacher called me a bitch, right? That's pretty much the gist. Let me tell you how it happened, though. See, I was in theater class. I had two theater classes. For people who don't generally know, high school, at least for me, from the years of 2009 to 2013, consisted of 5 classes per day. Now, in total, I guess you could say we had 10 classes. There'd be 5 on the A day, 5 on the B day. I had 2 theater classes, and one of them was with this one teacher. He was generally a cool dude, but he had some kinfolk just flip out sometime, man. I don't know if it was the arts, I don't know what it was, but kinfolk just start tripping sometimes, man. And what would really just generally happen, he go from being, hey, cool, what's up, dude? Or, hey, guys, this or whatever, to, why haven't you done this thing right? Move it over. All you have to do is do this. Gosh, you're an idiot, and all this other stuff or whatever, right? Like, he would go literally like that in a snap. He just start tripping. I don't know if his wife just wasn't putting it down on him right. Anyway, I had him as a theater teacher. Again, generally pretty cool, but it was going towards the end of the year. This was my senior year, so this was 2013. It was this one dude in our class who was part of his extra theater stuff. Like, he would stay after school and be in the plays and stuff like that. And he was kind of like a little snobby. Like, he thought he was a little bit better, especially, he just thought he was upper crust because it was his home turf in that class. He felt he had the home field advantage or whatever. And in a sense, he did, because the teacher who was there, the dude I was telling you about, the guy, he kind of played a little bit more of a favoritism when it came to his theater kids. Those were his babies, you know what I'm saying, type thing. Kind of creepy. But that was what it was. The dude said something to me or whatever that day. It didn't generally bother me, but I had like some scissors in my hand. We was doing some sort of project or something like that. Now, mind you, it's close to the end of the day, to the end of the year, I'm sorry. We only had like, maybe 3 days left or whatever. And he said something snobby to me or whatever. And then he turned around, and I just looked at him for a second. It didn't bother me horribly, because when I scanned him, you know what I'm saying, his threat detection meter was about like what, the length of like what, 2 nut hairs or something like that. His what I'm saying is, he wasn't that really intimidating. Let's just put it out there. Now, I had some scissors in my hand when he turned around. I was like, I just had them, and I just aimed them kind of at him a little bit. I was like, nigga, I'll cut your shit off. And the theater teacher saw that or whatever, and he thought that I actually cut his hair, when I actually did not. All I did was aim the scissors at him. I didn't get nowhere near his actual long golden locks type shit. It was nothing really happened. And I did it in a jokingly manner. Now, let's proceed. That was like my second period class, all the way down to my last period class. Again, it was almost about to be time to go home. I didn't know what was going on. One of the assistants from the office or whatever, them office assistants or whatever, people who get that last period off to help the office people and the principals out with stuff. One of them came down to my last period class and just, I thought they were looking for somebody. I thought they were looking for one of the other niggas, because I don't really do much of nothing too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. So I'm thinking, Tyrone or something like that finna get called, or Jose. And then he calls Christopher Andrews. I'm like, whoa. And then, like, my teacher looks in my direction, the teacher from my 5th period class, and she is looking at me, whatever, with her eyes like, it's you. And then the office aide didn't know who Christopher Andrews was, so I'm looking at the old dude next to me. I'm like, Chris, go ahead, man. They calling you up there, bro. And then my teachers look like, come on, Chris, don't play, whatever. No, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, damn, right? So pretty much, I'm going with the office aide or whatever. I don't know what's going on. All I know is that I'm being called to the office by one of the principals or whatever. I'm just like, I go into the office. I see one of the principals. It was one of the principal assistants or whatever. Cool dude, you know what I'm saying? He was generally an okay dude with me at least. Bit of a bitch, but he was still a cool dude nonetheless. But let's focus on the positives, okay? So I go into the office. I'm like, hey, what's going on, Mister? I ain't finna put his name out there. And hey, what's going on with you, whatever? Because he knew me for my Transformers impressions and stuff like that. I was pretty known by a group of quite a lot of the people in school just for that, just because of that. And he tells me, hey, so you tried to cut a kid's hair yesterday, earlier today or whatever. There's a referral here with your name on and stuff like that. I'm like, who? That could be me. I'm like, I didn't cut his hair. I could have. I mean, thinking of it now, I should have. At least I would have had something to go off of. But pretty much, he's saying this and that or whatever. He tells me about it. I'm like, what's going on or whatever? I don't understand, this and that. And pretty much, he tells me about it or whatever. Again, it's the end of the year, so I kind of barely cared. But it was just the fact, why didn't you just tell me right then and there? I don't like when people just go behind and say, well, he did this and that, when I'm literally right here in front of you. I probably passed by your ass like, what, 3-4 times throughout the day after I left your class, fam? But pretty much, this is where things get interesting, because fast forward throughout the next day of school, I didn't have his particular class that day because it was an A day that day. I go all the way to the last period of my class, which is ironically enough another theater class. Now, of course, both of the theater teachers know each other, and for some damn reason, this day they decide to do a joint effort and move both kids together, whatever. Pretty much, they helped us set up the damn play. We supposed to be in theater class, learning about some bullshit that we most of us ain't gonna really use because a lot of people weren't in the theater like that. But we helped set up the play or whatever. So we joined his class, and then our classes pretty much just mix up together. And this is how you can tell how some people are. I'm sitting up here going through the class or whatever. We all meet up. We all going into the auditorium to help set up the plays and stuff like that, help set up the stage. And then he says, hey, Chris, whatever, what's going on? And then I just look at him, because when I feel like you did something wrong, whatever, my ignore game is a I'm just gonna ignore you. I don't believe in you no more. You know what I'm saying? You don't exist to me. So I'm pretty much I just kept on walking right when he said hello. And I'm sitting up here talking to one of my homeboys or whatever. Again, I wasn't super frustrated by it, but I just felt like I need to just not talk to you. And after all, this is around the time Assassin's Creed 3 was coming out. So I was just thinking about chopping a nigga nuts off with a flying scalpel. That's all I was really thinking about. So pretty much, we up here lifting the thing or whatever, we moving or whatever. He ironically comes and helps us out with it or whatever. Again, I'm just helping him doing the thing. I'm just like, man, I just ready to get these last couple of days, we'd go home. We moved the table all the way into the other theater room, the smaller theater room, and we all just pretty much sitting there chilling. And my other homeboy next to me decides to say something funny or whatever. He cracks a joke on one of the teachers underneath his breath. So he says something funny, and I'm just laughing. I didn't say anything at all. And then all of a sudden, the teacher just says, "Oh, blah blah blah, don't be like that or whatever. You shouldn't be doing those kind of things." What'd he say? He said, "Yeah, you shouldn't be doing those kind of things. You're better than that." And then he says, "Chris is just mad because what'd he say, bro? Tripping?" Oh, he said, "Chris is just acting like a little bitch because I wrote him up yesterday." And then, like, when I heard this or whatever, I was just like, damn. It threw me off because I didn't expect to be called a bitch by a teacher like that. I'm sitting up here trying to do the math. I'm trying to carry the one. How does Chris and bitch go together when Chris didn't even do nothing? Like, I'm trying to figure that out. One of my other homeboys around, he comes around, literally looks me dead in the face. He just looks at me like, "You just gonna take that?" And I that was kind of funny, but I wasn't really laughing at the time, right? So I'm just sitting up here thinking about it. I'm like, this nigga really calling me a bitch. A bitch. BITCH. KRIS. And bitch. But I got frustrated by it. He ended up walking out of the room, whatever. I was like, I felt disrespected. I felt dishonored. Like my whole clan was just shamed and shunned or whatever. My bad, it's getting dark in here. Whatever, y'all can still see. As long as y'all can hear me, I'll be alright. But I felt like my entire clan was like dishonored, right? And then the other theater teacher, the lady, she comes and she can see that I'm clearly frustrated, and she's just wondering, what's going on or whatever. And I'm just like, he just called me a bitch, bro. And I got mad and I started getting frustrated. And then the teacher comes in and sees that I got frustrated. The other dude who called me one, and he saw me hitting the wall because, you know, that's what, I don't know. But he went and got the principal on me, man. He literally went and got the principal on me. I'm like, fam, I thought this was a situation you and I need to handle. We need to see each other on this. I need you to step into my office real quick. You know what I'm saying? You need to talk to me. And pretty much the other principal came around and then he was trying to act all hard with it, kind of. My bad, y'all. My camera had died. I mean, my phone had died. I mean, I ran out of memory or whatever. But pretty much after that whole thing, whatever, when I'm sitting up here, I'm getting furious. I'm getting enraged. I'm literally getting mad because I was telling also to my other theater teacher, I was telling the lady, I was like, I don't want to talk about it right now because the more I think about it, the more angrier I'm going to be. And she's still saying like, you know, this and that or whatever. And she clearly couldn't understand that concept. And when I hit the wall or whatever, just out of blind fury, the other theater teacher, the dude who called me a bitch, he came into the room when he saw that, ironically, right then and there. He went and got the principal on me. And all this other stuff, whatever. The principal, the same one who handled the referral when I got written up, he came in and then he was talking to me a little bit or whatever. And by this time, it was this. Of course, this was the last period. It was time to go home, right? So we ended up talking a little bit. He says, "Oh, you got to bring your mother up here or whatever." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "What? My mama don't come visit me up here at school on her best day. She not finna come up here for this, especially considering it's the end of the school year." I'm just playing. I love you, mama. I'm just playing. But she not finna come up here because it's already the end of the year. And it's like some people try to put that extra authority on there, try to say, "Oh, if you can't, you're not going to graduate because of this and that or whatever." I'm like, now I ain't no genius or whatever. But see, you telling me if I don't get my mama up here, that I don't get to graduate. Let's think about this. Do you really want to see my ass for another 180 days? Now, I may be young and all, but a parent is still a point. You don't want to see me for another 180 days. You gonna see me again just so you can flex your ego. That's not a good idea. So pretty much he was just trying to beef it up. Now that I know what I know now, that I understand what was going on. Pretty much, let's just fast forward a little bit. I told my mom's what happened or whatever. She like, what the hell? He called this, blah, blah, blah. Ended up calling the school or whatever. Later on that morning, they end up talking and stuff like that, my mom and them. And I end up seeing the same teacher the next day because it was time for me to have his class again. He called me outside or whatever, and then, you know, he apologized for it and stuff like that. I ended up apologizing too, just so we can, damn, come on, man, focus up. My bad, I'm losing daylight. But just so we can keep some peace. We shook hands and all that good stuff. It was cool. And then one thing he did tell me, he told me that he thought that I hit the lady teacher that we had, the other theater teacher. And I was like, nah, I didn't. I hit the wall. I didn't put my hands on her at all. But on a side note, though, you telling me when you saw, if you thought that a woman got struck down by me, the first thing you did was flee? That was just something to think about. But we ended up squashing and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. We ended up going back up to the school for their fall festival or whatever, like some months later, of course. And I saw him again. I shook hands. Well, hey, what's going on with this or whatever? You know what I'm saying? I don't hold grudges or keep them on me or whatever. That don't mean I'm finna hang out with you. We finna be Facebook friends and all that good stuff. Hell no. But yeah, come on, focus up, man. Quit playing me. But yeah, that was just pretty much the gist of it. I was still in disbelief at the time, but at the end, it all passed through. It was all cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold that kind of stuff against people now no more, but that don't mean I'm still finna hang out with you though. But yeah, that was just a story time I really wanted to shoot with y'all. I was really feeling the juice and the mojo right now. Thank you to everybody who supports my channel. Thank you to everybody who's just having a damn good day, because that energy is helping the world out each and every single second, every hour on the hour. Y'all stay smooth. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, y'all. Y'all appreciate it.